talk about keeping the end in mind, but the title is obviously a much longer one that you see right up there. But really, we're talking about training with the end in mind. All right. And so what are some of the issues that come up with that, Dave?
Well, so many coaches they look for immediate gratification. So you have a player, a good example is a kid that's learning good technique, good strokes, good patterns of footwork and whatnot. And they go up against a kid that's been playing maybe longer and he's a pusher or he's just a hacker. And the hacker or the pusher tends to beat the kid that's working on their game initially. But then suddenly you see it swap and the kid that's been working on good technique not only beats that kid, but beats him bad. And that's what we see. A lot of our beginners when in high school training, we train them very succinctly in technical skills as well as gamesmanship and strategy and stuff like that. And we go up against schools that are pretty weak, but they just dink and push, and the coaches are not even concerned in the least about technical training or in the long-term picture. And a lot of these low JV kids of mine may lose or have a good match and win, but barely. Then the next time we play them, we usually play teams twice. It's not even close because the technique allows more effective play as well as defending more effective shots by opponents and how to handle that. So the end in mind is my goal whenever I see a new player is I'm going to make you as skilled a player as your potential will allow. And I never deviate from that goal.
Good. And what I like to do, I always tell the kids, look, we're going to be the most improved team in the league.
Like it.
And kids like that because if you say, oh, we're going to go undefeated or, we're going to beat our rival and that's like a 50-50 proposition because the rivalry's so close. You can't really guarantee that. But if you're really coaching well, you can make your team the most improved team in your league. It's manageable, right? Because all you have to do is be smarter than the other coaches. That's all you have to do, and it's not that hard. So,
this program's out. We're trying to give you that intelligence.
The problem is that there's a lot of conventional wisdom. So I'll give you an example. I was putting my kids through some really intense conditioning, and then 2 days later, we were going to have a match against a possible playoff opponent in the preseason. There's playoff seeding at stake. One of my players and their parent came and questioned me, Coach, why are we working out so hard today? Because we're playing this other high school, and if we beat them, then we'll be seeded higher than them. And so I said this. I said, well, would you rather be seeded higher and less well prepared? Or would you rather be seeded lower and be kind of the unexpected underdog that is better prepared? And, I kind of got the confused dog look from them. They kind of, their heads kind of went side to side because I broke their brains with that. And as it turned out, in 3 seasons with that team, my number 10 seeded girls beat number 7 and number 2. My number 9 seeded boys team beat number 8 and number 1 before losing to 5, unfortunately. And then my boys who came in seeded 3 finished a day by beating 2 and 1 in the same day in 97-degree heat to win a sectional title, coming from 3 matches to 1 down in the final. That's a testament to how hard those kids work to prepare for that. Because you don't win your second match of the day coming from 3-1 down in 97-degree heat, unless you've done an awful lot of.
I'll say this: the idea of improvement, continual, steady improvement on a slight upward trend, is so much more valuable in the long run. And, as I told you before, when I took over the team I was coaching until my retirement, was that I said they'd won 1 region title in the previous 6 years. So I told them our goal is to be region champs and state champions, and it'll probably be within 4 years. I didn't say this year. I said in 4 years or less. And the idea was that we had a long-term goal for a lot of those freshmen, sophomore, and even junior players to say, this is a process. And then that led into the reason why we worked so hard, and the kids bought into the practice and the effort. And then they started seeing success. We win the first Spanish Fork tournament of the history of the school. We win region. We are runner-up in state 2 years in a row, and then win state fourth year. We should have won state really the second and third year, but we lost by 1 point with 3 kids sicker than dogs. But the kids saw it. They saw their improvement. They saw where they were. And the kids, a great example, the kid that was number 21 on my girls' team, her freshman year, improved so much that she was number 2 varsity her sophomore year and beat the number 1 ranked player in the state and gave her the only loss of her career. Of
Wow.
her career from Park City. So
that's awesome.
It is amazing how that improvement, steadiness, sometimes it happens faster, as with that example, but it happened continuously, and it's so rewarding to see a team reach that pinnacle.
Well, and that's great, because I want to make a clarification, because I don't want people to think that I think that outcome goals are not good.
No, you're not saying that.
You know, it's good. I think it's great to state an outcome goal one time, and then from then on focus on the process goals, because it's out there. You don't have to keep hammering it, right?
Yep.
So that puts a wrap on this one. Go.
You said go.